Baruch ata Asherah nat malacha alam asher kedishanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hitati v'tzitzit. Good morning, Knuckle Velvet. I hope you have a beautiful day. How are you doing? Shema Yisrael Asher Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. Vahafta et anat Elohecha uv'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'chayu hadvarim ha'el asher noachim mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'vitecha v'lechtecha havaderech uv'shachpecha uv'kumecha וקשרתם לאוד על ידיך, היו לטוטפות בעיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובישעריך. וחיה, כי הביאך ירא אלוהיך אל הארץ אשר נשבע לאבותיך, לאברהם ליצחק וליעקב, לתת לך ערים גדולות וטובות אשר לא בנית, ובתים מלאים כל טובה אשר למילאת, ובורות הטובים אשר לא עשת, כהרים וזיתים אשר לא נתת, והלכת ושבת, הישמר לך פן תשכח את יראי אשר תשעך מארץ מצרים מבית עבדים. Hello, friends. Hello, Kimmy. How are you? Hi, Sarah. Sarah, I have so been enjoying talking to you in the mornings. It's really nice. Start your day with a good dose of pondering about the origins of patriarchy. Very good. Baruch atah Yahweh, Eloheinu melech haolam, shelo ashani isha. I repeat the name of Yahweh Eloheinu, who did not make me a woman. I did. Baruch atah Asher hanat malecha ha'olam asher yitzaret ha'adam b'chachama uvara ve'or. I repeat the name of Asherah Anat, who made me with many openings and cavities. But I don't want to pray to my maker, no, I just want to be feeling free. Not just who I am, but the pink in golden land, and that wide, wild sky over me. Help me to the sun, hey, I'm looking everywhere. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer, and I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, I don't want to pray, we don't want to pray. pray. And it's not much good to talk, better to walk it. Ooh, not much good to take, better to give. We are done, forgiven, and forgotten of our sins. And I promise you, my friends, all that dies will live again. So, pardon, God and Mom. What I'm saying isn't fair. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer. And I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray. We don't want to pray. Pray. Allah made love. And Yahweh made hate. Asher made good. And Anat made bad. Eloheinu made love. And Yahweh made hate. Allah. God made me. I should think... Excuse me. I should sing that one more often, shouldn't I, Kimmy? I know you like it. It just felt appropriate today. I don't know why I don't sing it every day. I guess even though the theology of that particular song is lovely, I have some ambivalent towards English prayers. Like, English just doesn't feel to me like a language to be prayed in. Even though it's comprehensible, which is so weird, but the fact that these older languages, liturgical languages, are not as readily understandable by me and by you, to me feels like a reason to pray in them, which I don't know. I have my reasons. I could explain them to you. I don't think that's universally true. I think most religions do better when when the people speak the language that they pray in. But there's something about the old that I find sacred. So it goes. Good morning, Julie. How are you? Thank you for the flowers, Alyssa. That's really kind. Yes, it's really hard to find the right words, particularly in Abrahamic traditions, right? Like you sent me that that pamphlet that your church sent you, just oh, hey, it's cold out. Don't freeze. Pray to God, right? And you're right, it was very sweet. It was very sweet and heartfelt. And also I don't know, there's an image of God in it that I'm comfortable referring to in Hebrew. I'm comfortable referring to Yahweh that way, oh, Sky Dad. So wise and powerful. Oh, Sky Dad, right? But to say that in English, I can't do it without being tongue-in-cheek about it, right? I kind of need the Hebrew as a filter almost, right? So that I can have a little bit more space to interpret it. Because I find it challenging the way that a lot of traditions talk about God, even just the casual metaphors that they use, right? Nothing is too hard for God, right? That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but just I don't know. It's not something that I personally would say or write. I don't know why I have the tastes that I do, or the preferences that I do, or the ways of thinking about God that I do. I just have them. It has been a while since I've seen you, Alexis. It's really nice to see you. I've been doing great. I'm doing better, better this last month or two than I have in over a year. It's really nice. Church leads on God hard. It's all about prayer. They're Baptist. What denomination did you grow up going to? Because I know you found this Baptist church rather recently, but I imagine you had some sort of religious upbringing? Good morning, Shannon. How are you? I'm doing great, Twinkie Bean. Tweaky Bean. No church. What about your parents? Or your grandparents? So, well, I mean, yes, Kimmy. I suppose you are supposed to aspire to act like Jesus. That's why we have this, crucified mascot. Sacrifice yourself like Jesus. like, I mean, he's a good aspirational tool, but I think the structure of the religion is that very few people are able to act like Jesus. It's an accomplishment if you can pull that off. You become a saint, right? And the Pope, like, writes your name in the special book. Getting ready to bed from your night shift. What kind of work do you have, Shannon? You grew up Pentecostal. Yeah, that's a lot to figure out. I imagine that's some pretty intense memes in your mind from when you were very young. Your mother's family are pagans from Wales. Interesting. And your dad is Sicilian Catholic. What would Jesus do? Don't we all, Kimmy? We all have different flavors of religious trauma. Mine takes the form of genocide. Or rather, a grandmother that experienced genocide and then raised my mother, who then raised me in constant fear of genocide, right? Does that count as religious trauma? I think so. Emergency room, PA. I have a doctor friend in Pennsylvania. I was just visiting her in Philadelphia, and she was telling me about working in the emergency room. She told me the story about, like, they had 14 gunshot victims come in all at once. It was wild. PTS denomination. Yeah, every religious denomination gets its own special flavor of religious trauma. You went to Baptist and Pentecostal. I really love the amount of diversity that y'all have, right? Like, it's so cool. Like, I ask that question all the time. Like, I come on here so many mornings, like, what was your religious background? And people give me such different answers. It's so cool. It's so cool. Yeah. So, today, we are going to read Dumuzi's Dream. So, where we left off, Inanna was resurrected, right? The Kugara and the Galator performed some sort of strange sex acts with Ereshkigal, and then were given Inanna's body as payment. And then Inanna is resurrected, but she's surrounded by Gala demons. I'll see you later, Kimmy. She's surrounded by Gala demons, and the demons come up to the living world with her, and they say, no one returns from the land of the dead without paying the price. And so they insist that in order for her to return, someone must take her place. And they go around and they say, oh, let's take your best friend. She's like, no, not Ninshibor. Ninshibor was the one who got me resurrected. And then they say, okay, we'll take your sons. And she says, no, my sons. They're my sons. I can't let you take my sons. And they're like, okay, fine, we'll take your husband. And she's like, that fucker? I never liked him anyway. And so then the Gala demons, they surround Dumuzi and they chase him. And Dumuzi prays to Utu. And he says, Utu, turn my limbs into snakes so that I can escape the Gala demons. And Utu does. Utu turns Dumuzi's limbs into snakes. And then Dumuzi flees. And in this last section of the story, we will read about the flight of Dumuzi, called Dumuzi's Dream, right? It's a little bit psychedelic. And we shall read. So good to see you too again. What were they smoking? I don't know. I mean, probably nothing. I mean, certainly not like anything as strong as we have today. Like the drugs that you and I have access to today, Sarah, are like so much more powerful than anything these people had. Like I did read some reports from an archaeological site in Tel Arad in Israel, where they did find evidence of cannabis in some of the altar sites, which I thought was really cool. That the priests to Yahweh and Asherah were burning cannabis in the Holy of Holies. But like it was like they were hotboxing the Holy of Holies, right? like they weren't smoking it like us because it wasn't nearly as potent. Instead, they filled the entire temple with like really intense smoke of lots of different things, right? Propolis and myrrh and blah, 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 and cannabis. And yeah, so that's what they were smoking. But I don't know, the Yoistic priests were writing like a good 2,000 years after this was written. So, you know. What do you do in the ancient days? Write some crazy shit to reify your political power. So, Dumuzi's Dream. His heart was overwhelmed with tears. The shepherd's heart was full of tears. The heart of Dumuzi was full of tears. Shambling on the prairie, Dumuzi cried, O prairie, raise a lament in my name. O crabs within the creek, grieve for me. O frogs of the stream, croak out for me. O Sirtur, who gave me birth, cry for me. If the 5 beads have escaped her notice, if the 10 beads have escaped her notice, if she lacks knowledge of the day I died, then you, O prairie, inform my mother. Upon the open prairie my mother will shed tears for me. Upon the prairie my little sister will lift a lament for me. Thus he settled down to rest himself. The shepherd lay down to rest himself. Dumuzi settled down to rest himself, sleeping among the lilies and the reeds, and there he did experience a dream, and he woke after he had his dream. He shivered from what he had seen. He covered his eyes in great dread. Dumuzi then spoke and cried aloud, "Call out for her! Call for her, call for my sister, my scribe who is aware of many stories, my singer who is aware of many songs, my sister who knows what words mean, my seer who knows what dreams mean. I have to converse with her and relate to her my dream." Dumuzi, speaking to Geshtinana, said, "It was a dream, sister, hear my dream. The reeds grow rampant around me, rising up thickly as a forest about me. One solitary reed stalk shakes for me. From a twin stalk one is pulled out, followed by the other. Within a grove the terribly tall trees climb all around me. My sacred heart is doused with water, and the base of my churn falls down. My drinking cup drops from its hook. My shepherd's crook cannot be found. An eagle grabs a lamb from the sheep pen. A falcon snatches a sparrow on the fence. Oh, sister, your goat's lapis lazuli beads do not touch the ground. Your sheep paw at the dirt with bent hoof. Idle sits the churn, unfilled the milk urn. The cup is broken, Dumuzi is forsaken, and the sheep farm is lost to the winds." Geshtinana then gave her reply, saying, "Brother, this dream of yours should not be revealed to me. Dumuzi, such a dream as this should not be revealed to me. For the reeds which did grow about you, the reeds like a forest rising around you, these are your demons who will come for you to assail you. The one solitary reed that shakes you, that is our mother, who will wail for you. The twin-stalked reed, where one is pulled, followed by the other, Dumuzi, signifies us. For the first one and then the other will be taken. And within the grove, the terribly tall trees climbing about you represent Gala demons, who will fall upon you in the sheep farm. And when the fire upon your sacred hearth is extinguished, then the sheep farm will become barren. When the base of your churn does fall, then you will be captured by the Gala. When your cup drops off its hook, so will you drop down to earth, falling into your mother's lap. When your shepherd's crook is vanished, the Gala will make all things shrivel up, and the eagle that grabs a lamb from out of the sheep pen, this is the Gala who will slash your cheeks, and the falcon that snatches a sparrow from off the fence, this is the Gala who will come over the fence to capture you. Oh, Dumuzi, my goat's lapis lazuli beads touch the beards touch the ground, so too will my hair twirl in the sky for you, and my sheep paw at the dirt with bent hoof. Oh, Dumuzi, so too will I scratch my cheeks in sorrow for you. Idle sits the churn, unfilled the milk urn. The cup is broken, Dumuzi is forsaken, and the sheep farm lost to the winds. And with that, we will conclude. Do you know what's going to happen next? Can you guess? Dumuzi had a dream of terrible destruction, and his sister says, "Don't tell me that dream, it's terrible destruction." And then, in the next part of the story, we get terrible destruction, of course. Dumuzi will die, and the story of death and resurrection will continue on into history. Good morning, Batya. How is the weather in Israel? Raining? Well, that's good. Rain in Israel is always good. Just like California, yeah. The environment's very similar. You grew up with a Palestinian family. You were telling me that? You had Palestinian neighbors who moved to California because it reminded them of Palestine? It's really cool. I don't know if that's what it takes to be able to say you've been to San Diego. So, the Mazen family. Yeah, the professor that I wrote the mushroom paper with was named Mazen. It was his first name, spelled a little bit differently in English, but Mazen Kumsia. Started the museum that I first learned about mushrooms at. It's pretty cool. In Bethlehem. So, now we will say Arati. Arati and then Kaddish. And I'm going to have some rice with you today, because I don't have to get offline until 11, so I've got a little bit of time and I'm hungry, so I'm going to eat some rice and seaweed. You've been to San Diego. You're from Canada. How did I not know you were from Canada? When did you move to Israel? How old were you? I assume when you got married? One of the boys was named Mazen. Wow. So, the word Arati means flame. Let me show you the little flame. Come on. There we are. I messed with, this. Ooh. Where's... Ay. How do you get the camera to show what you want it to show? Something like that? I think I want this to be back even further. Ooh! Oh no. Oh no, what's happening? You moved to Israel when you were 45. How did I not know that? Oh God. I'm just causing all sorts of mess and trouble. You make me happy, Batya. My apologies for how do I... There. That's what I want. Silly me. Yeah, I had to bring the phone further away. It was too close. If I wanted to get the candle in the shot. But it's important to have the candle in the shot. It's very important. This is Arati. This is a sacred flame. Must be lit when praying. It's important. Yeah, I would love to know the answer to that question, Batya. Like, I know a little bit about your history, that you were, for a time, married to an ultra-Orthodox man, some flavor of Orthodoxy. I don't know what you would label it, but that you're not anymore. I didn't realize that you had spent so much time in North America. So... now we're gonna say Arati. The word Arati means flame in Sanskrit. Jaya Jaya Arati Vina Vinayaka Vina Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Jaya Jaya Arati Subramanya Subramanya Kartikeya Jaya Jaya Arati Venugopala Venuola Papa Vidura Navanita Chora Jaya Jaya Arati Venkantaramana Sankata Harana Sita Rama Radhe Shama Jaya Jaya Arati Gauri Manohara Bhavani Sankara Samba Sadashiva Uma Maheshwara Jaya Jaya Arati Raja Rajeshwari Tripura Sundari Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Mahashakti Jaya Jaya Arati Anjaneya, Anjaneya Hanumanta, Jaya Jaya Arati Dattatreya, Dattatreya Trimutriya Vatara, Jaya Jaya Arati Adityaya, Adityaya Bhaskaraya, Jaya Jaya Arati Sanistaraya, Sanistaraya Bhaskaraya, Jaya Jaya Arati Sankarachaya, Sankarachaya Advaita Guravi, Jaya Jaya Arati Sadgurunata, Sadgurunata Shivananda, Jaya Jaya Arati Vishnu Devananda, Vishnu Devananda, Vishnu Devananda, Jaya Jaya Arati Agastya Munaye, Agastya Munaye Shirama Priyaye, Jaya Jaya Arati Ayapa Samine, Ayapa Samine Dharma Shastave, Jaya Jaya Arati Jesus Gurave, Moses Gurave, Buddha Gurave, Jaya Jaya Arati Muhammad Gurave, Guru Nanak Gurave, Samastya Gurubho Namaha. Jaya Jaya Arati Venugopala. Natatrasya Bhati Natanjakara Tamnima Vidyobhati Kutoya Magni Tomeva Bandamini Sarvam Tasya Basya Samidam Vivanti Om Gange Kayamane Kaiva Govari Saraswati Narmate Siddhika Fairy Namastitam Namo Namaha. Tvameva Mata Chapita Tameva Tvameva Bandisha Saka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Kayena Vacha Manasindriyarva Buddhyatmanava Prakrite Sabhavad Karomi Adyad Sakalam Prasmahi Narayanaiti Sarmar Payami Savadharmam Pravichaya Mamikam Saranam Vraja Aham Svasar Papapayo Mukshayami Masucha. Whatever actions I perform with my body, speech, mind, senses, my nature, my intellect, or my emotions, all these, I dedicate to you, to all of you here today. Thank you. Thank you for spending the mornings with me. I so appreciate it. My rice is ready. So, it is time to say Kaddish. No, thank you. It's time to say Kaddish. You're right. I do have no idea. I mean, that's the funny nature of internet relationships, right? Like, like I know things about you, but I also don't, right? Like, I don't know what impact, these moments that I spend here have on you. Like, you can tell me. I could tell you what impact it has on me, but like, you know, how much can you know somebody else's experience? It's difficult to say. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know, like, I guess, I think the reason why we do things like collective prayer or drug use, right, or mind-altering activities collectively, collective mind-altering activities, like, it gives you a kind of confidence that you can't have in another setting, that you can accurately empathize with someone, right? Like, if you're both engaging in the same ritual, you're perceiving the same mimetic content. Right? So, like, there's some commonality, even though there's a gulf of empathy and understanding. You know that, like, I don't know, like, I think about it in the same way, like, these statues, like, these Judean pillar figurines, like, the archaeologists and the scholars, they argue about what they meant, right? And, like, who made them and how they functioned in Judean society and blah, blah, blah. And they can argue all they want, right? But, like, there's a simpler thing of, like, well, I'm touching this statue, right? Like, this physical form, I'm touching it. And I know that people 2,500 years ago, 3,000 years ago, touched a very similar form. And their hands had the same stimulus that my hands have now, right? So when we do things like pray together, right? Like, it, in some way, it gives us this, like, concrete empathetic link of, like, oh yeah, I've had that experience too. And I think that's important. So, we'll say Kaddish for your friends, I suppose. You'll have to tell me more about them. It sounds like a very difficult loss. Yeah, we say Kaddish for those who are no longer here, right? Those who we miss, those who deserve our grief, even though deserve is not a very useful framework. And we say Kaddish with those who are still here, right? We say it together for a reason. It's not a prayer to be said alone. I mean, sometimes it is, but almost always I say Kaddish with someone else. And I think that's part of it, learning to grieve collectively. It's part of it. So, we'll say some old words that people have been saying for probably as long as these statues have not been being made. Right, I think you can date the mourner's Kaddish to the Persian period, right, shortly after those statues were phased out. Say Kaddish for the end of the Asherah statues, and for everything that happened in between then and now. We say these words. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shema Rabbah. V'yoma divrachyote v'yamlich malchote. V'chayachon v'yomechon v'chaye de kol beit Yisrael. Bagala v'zman kari v'yimru. Amen. Yehi Shema Rabbah meva'arach le'olam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yirmam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shema de kudisha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbichata v'nechemata. Damiran v'yama v'yimru. Amen. Yesh lama Rabbah min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yachol Yisrael. V'yimru. Amen. Ose shalom b'rmav. Huya ase shalom. Aleinu v'yachol Yisrael. V'yimru. Amen. Ose shalom b'rmav. Huya ase shalom aleinu v'yachol Yisrael. V'yimru. V'yimru. Amen. Thanks. That concludes our morning prayers. But I'm not going just yet. I have 16 minutes until my therapy appointment. And in those 16 minutes, I'm going to eat some rice because I didn't have a very big dinner last night. And I woke up very early. And so I am hungry. I will be back in 30 seconds. Oop. In 30 seconds, I will return. This cannot hang there anymore. I guess I need another place for it. Well, until then, I'll have to put it back there. Alright. I'll be back in one moment. In a moment. Eating is good. I like eating. I haven't had breakfast on the stream in a very long time. Oh shit. I made too much rice. What am I gonna do? Portion control is challenging. How do you know you're pouring enough rice into the cooker? How do you know you haven't poured too much? Still very hot. Woo! Too hot. I can't talk. This is embarrassing. Gotta eat it with cream for dinner now. So sad. Um, Sometimes there is not too much rice. Sometimes I make not enough rice. Good morning, Finley. How are you? So nice to see you again. I'm doing well. It's very possible. You just don't pour enough into the rice cooker. Yes, it's a Goldilocks problem for sure. So the good news is when I make too much rice, I can usually solicit someone in my house to eat it. Exactly. Exactly. I think I also added too much water because it's very hot. Water retains heat more than rice does, and this rice is a little bit soggy and rather hot, which is like great for these kind of seaweed, like faux sushi that I'm making. But hard, very hot, hot on my fingers, and I can't eat it nearly as quickly as I would like to be eating it. I'm gonna run out of time. I'm not gonna be able to eat all this rice before I have to sign off. That's the recipe. Yeah, that's all you ever need. Just the right amount and then a pinch. So, Batya, you spent 45 years in Quebec before you moved to Israel? That's a lot of years. I'm not going to eat it with the therapist, no. Talking to her requires more concentration. I mean, I guess I could eat with her, but it wouldn't feel right. How long have you been married, Sarah? $15 years. That's a long time. Whoop. Married? Yeah, that's a little harder to track. Like some people have, like my friend who I was visiting in Philadelphia, like she just got engaged, and it was like a very like formal engagement, right? Like she called me and made a big announcement. It was really sweet, but like I've been engaged to my partner for I don't know how long we've been engaged. Like I never proposed to her. We just got engaged. We just were engaged one day. We woke up and we were like, oh, I guess we're engaged, huh? um, yeah, I've been with her for 12 years now, 11 years, 12 years, something like that. Yeah, I mean, there are lots of ways to do the marriage thing, right? Like, the stories that you hear involve proposals and engagements and, like, certain kinds of cultural dances that I guess I was lucky enough to avoid. Or maybe because I think it's lucky, I avoided it. I think some people really like all those rituals. And I do want to get married. Like, I do want to have a wedding ritual. But, yeah, I just plan my life differently than, I don't know, like, an arranged marriage. Some people still have arranged marriages. What about San Francisco in the 60s? Arranged marriages often work out well. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it feels like I'm in an arranged marriage. Like, not really. Like, I picked my partner, but, like, I picked her when we were so different people. Like, such different people. Right? Like, I was a 20-year-old boy when I met her. Um, so, like, we stayed together because it was arranged for us to stay together. Like, we arranged it. I don't know, like, you get thrust into a circumstance and you have to learn to grow with someone. And, like, I don't know how much it matters how much original, like, initial chemistry there is. Like, what kind of basis was I making the choice of to, like, start dating this person when I was 20? Like, I don't think it's because of some sort of, like, deep-seated romantic compatibility. Like, I think we stayed together because it made sense to stay together. And we learned to grow around each other. I guess I say that to be like, I don't think arranged marriage is a bad idea. Like, I can understand why that happens. Like, I'm glad that my marriage wasn't arranged. But I don't think it necessarily makes bad relationships. You would still love him. Yeah, you would. I'm sure you would. It's when your fundamental self changes. That's when it's rocky. Yeah, I mean, it's a funny thing. Like, I mean, I feel like I changed so much. And, like, in certain ways, my fundamental self did change. But also, self is what stays the same when everything else changes, right? So if it changes, then it's not really your true self, right? Is there such a thing as a true self? I don't know. But don't start kicking puppies and buying fur coats. I mean, I might start buying fur coats. Good morning, Dr. Punk. How are you? You caught the very tail end of the stream. I have to go in, oh gosh, like 2 minutes. Yeah, I have to go very soon. I have one more see wee wee wee. And then I'm gonna go. So, I sang that song today, Batya. I thought of you. I sang it today, but it was at the very beginning of the stream. But I will sing it again for you one day, okay? I promise. So it's time for me to go. But I will be here tomorrow to say these words again. Yes, next time. I'll say them again next time. I will sing the Edward Sharpe song again next time. if you enjoy the stream, if you think that this is good company to hold, then you can check out the links in my bio. You do not talk too much, Sarah. I love talking to you. Yeah, the Discord has been more active since you joined the Discord. It's been really great. I've been enjoying hanging out there a lot more. So go check out the link in the bio to the Discord, and we can chat there. And it will be nice. It will be pleasant. And you can also subscribe on Patreon or on TikTok, or you can leave a one-time tip. Go to the Discord. Let's do some art projects together. Yes. Yes. So, with that, I will leave you. I hope you have a really lovely day. Yeah, and show me your paper dyeing project. I'll see you later. Thanks, everyone. Farewell.